Bitcoin ETF is back in the news. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be talking about a Bitcoin ETF because if it gets approved, the price of Bitcoin goes up pretty quickly, at least in like the short term with rumors and everything going on. But it's just happened now that everything got refiled with BlackRock and Fidelity and these guys. They want to get their Bitcoin ETF. They want their share of the pie. What happened was the SEC basically said this, saying that they reportedly said on the 30th that crypto ETF filings with the NASDAQ and the CBOE were not sufficiently clear and comprehensive, suggesting that the applicants include additional information on surveillance agreements. So that's what came out like a week ago or something on the 30th, where everyone who was super excited that BlackRock filed for an ETF and Fidelity filed for one, and the spot Bitcoin ETF's coming because BlackRock has a great record. And then, the price moved up off of those rumors, and then this came out, and the price moved down pretty quickly. It like broke 30K at that point, and then people realized, well, it's not like the end of the world, so Bitcoin's where it is now, like 31 or something. And now we've had BlackRock, they refiled and added Coinbase as their person who's going to do like the surveillance agreement stuff, which was a big question of mine, of saying like, what is a surveillance agreement? Because when you hear that, I think of them trying to like survey the blockchain and see where people are sending money and who it is, and try and identify wallets and do this kinds of stuff. That's what I get from hearing surveillance agreement, but I don't think that's what it is. I give it a little Google, and it says the surveillance agreement provides that a non-US entity will be able to produce and share relevant information about market trading activity, clearing activity, customer identity without being materially impeded by the non-US entity's rules or secrecy or blocking laws. So I think, right, I'm not some smartest person in the world with all these finance stuff, but I think it's for market manipulation. That's what I would assume, because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like they're worried about market manipulation from people who aren't regular. Think Binance, right? Binance probably has a little bit of manipulation and wash trading. I'm pretty sure that's already came out, and they're kind of worried about that. You can't really blame them. Binance, not a very trustworthy company. Even comparing it to Coinbase, who the SEC is suing, Binance is still worse off than that. But it is funny to see Coinbase being the person or the company who is putting out all these things. You see this saying BlackRock refiled for their spot Bitcoin ETF. The resubmission was dated in the 29th. NASDAQ just posted, though, and they added Coinbase like everybody else. And like everybody else is really funny that literally everyone is listing Coinbase as the, partner here, person in charge of either custodying their assets or keeping track of like the market pricing and all this stuff and their surveillance agreement things. And Coinbase is getting sued by the SEC. So these guys, and these are big play, BlackRock, Fidelity, these guys have trillions of dollars in assets under management, and they are putting Coinbase on their application. Well, Coinbase is getting sued by the SEC. So that doesn't make too much sense, right? If you just think logically about this, why would the SEC approve any ETF with Coinbase included as one of the big partners there while they are suing them? But hey, BlackRock is, I think they're the biggest kind of investment guys out there. They have like almost $9 trillion under management, so they are no small fry. They have a very good ETF record, getting like everything except for one ETF. It's like hundreds of ETFs approved to one being not approved. So they got good records. That's why people are excited about it. And now they've resubmitted with Coinbase, and people are going to be excited again. But it's like, Coinbase is getting sued. So is it the best news in the world? I don't know. Either way, it doesn't really change much, right? If you are someone who is a normal person and you can go and just buy Bitcoin on any exchange, move into cold storage, you're good. You don't need these ETFs, right? The easy ETFs are more for pension funds, for big businesses to move into stuff easier. It's not, I guess it could be for obviously everyday people. You can buy the ETF if you really desperately want to. I don't see the reason to do that, though. If you want Bitcoin, just buy Bitcoin. and then pull it off, put it in cold storage, and now that is your Bitcoin. You're good to go. You don't need the ETF. Obviously, the ETF is going to be insane for price action. There's way more money in these institutional guys than there are in retail guys, which is why people want it and are excited for it, because you got hundreds of billions, maybe trillions of dollars that could flood in through an ETF. And, you know, even retail right now is not that much, like tens of billions of dollars, right? So it's a huge, massive difference. And from this news, from Coinbase being in the headlines so much, we've got their stock chart. It's going parabolic. It's going crazy. Today, up like 11.7%, another percent in after hours. So you can see they are just rallying here in the day. The week's really good too, 34%. The month, 30%. But the more you zoom out, the more you kind of get like, it's not that insane, right? The year still, like, these are still insane numbers. You zoom out all the way, and it doesn't look as impressive, right? This goes up to here. This is 342 all the way up again. 342 again was like this peak, and then all the way down. So although these are crazy moves for Coinbase, it's only happening really because they're in the kind of headlines. They're these partners to these big firms and stuff. But in reality, Coinbase as a market, right, or not a business, doesn't have a great business model. Coinbase basically depends on altcoins and the hype cycle to make money off the trading fees. So without those trading fees, without all of the hype and froth that comes with a bull market, right, they don't make as much money, or they could be starting losing money. Or if the SEC tells them, hey, these are all unregistered securities, you got problems, got to take them all down, then they have massive problems, right? So as a business, Coinbase isn't really like a super effective, efficient business. It's just like all the exchanges. The vast majority of exchanges are dependent, just like Coinbase is, how they built their model up. And long term, I don't know how sustainable of a model it's really going to be. And as we know, the big players, Blackrock, Fidelity, these guys are coming into the space, and a lot of people are excited and saying, oh, this is great. Bitcoin's going to be great. What's good for Bitcoin is good for Coinbase, which isn't, I don't necessarily true, because you could look at stuff like this too, right? This is them kind of saying, you know, Fidelity, BlackRock, all these guys, the big boys are coming in, and then saying the adults have entered the room. This is bad news for coin, which it could be, right? Now, I don't know if these guys, obviously BlackRock, Fidelity, these guys don't have the capabilities of themselves of having an exchange, generating Bitcoin addresses, doing all this stuff. That's why they outsource it to Coinbase, because they just can't do it themselves. They don't have the technological skills to do it themselves, so they outsource it, which maybe that's Coinbase's future. Maybe that's their future business model, being more of a custodian and charging probably pretty hefty amounts for that, because custodying is not cheap, and it's a loss leader for a lot of these guys. And if they just switch over to that, institutions come in, they need the custodian service, and you can offer it to them. You could probably make a lot of money doing that. But we got the hype for the Bitcoin ETF back. Everyone's getting real excited again. And I mean, it seems like it's closer and closer to getting approved, but not even quite yet there. I don't think we're going to see something approved like this year. And what people have said is this would be much better in a bull market, right? Getting an ETF approved would be massively better for the price in a bull market, because that's when you would get so much overreaction to this news. In a current like bear market, you're not going to get an overreaction. You probably get a nice pump up. You probably get like a 20% day in Bitcoin, maybe $10,000 candle. But in a bull market, if you could have this news come out when you're closer to 69K, the top, and you can blow through that top, then who knows? You know, you keep going, you run, you have price discovery. It could get crazy. So maybe it's a good thing if the ETF gets just pushed off a bit for maybe a year or two, and just wait till the bull market is back on, or a bull market comes back, and then you have a really insane kind of combination there. That's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.